Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 players into the transfer portal within the past 24 hours officially. And in the new modern era of college football, when you're not happy with your role, guess what you can do? You can wake up on a random Tuesday and go, oh, you know what? I'm not very happy here. I think I'm going to enter the portal right now. All right, there we go. What's going on, guys? It's Matt B begging for subscribers back at it. Just act like I gave you some speech about how you should subscribe to the channel. Let's get back into the video. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope you're having a great Tuesday. Hope you're having a great start to your week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, we got some more, let's just say, not so good news for Alabama football. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not even 6, not even 7, but 8, count them, 8 players have entered the transfer portal within the last 24 hours. Is this a big deal for Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide? That's what we're going to talk about. To go along with that, we have 2 other very interesting topics to go over. One of those including the Florida State Cinnamon Rolls. You're going to want to see what they got going on. Let's just say they got some quarterback issues they're trying to resolve. And our other situation we're going to speak on is Bill Belichick. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. Bill Belichick? He's coming to college football? What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Belichick in the college football community? Hey, I'll take it. It should be entertaining. I think it's more than safe to say we got 3 super fascinating topics to go over. Strap in, buckle up, get you a snack, get you a popcorn, get your favorite meal you like to eat when you watch a video, because trust me, I do the same thing, but I'm blah, blah, shit, crap, blah, 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 let's get into it. All right, first things first, we have a big situation to talk about and go over that involves you guys. Yesterday, I popped up some comments where people were saying, Matt be crying, and I asked y'all, should we ban them? If it was up to me, they would have got an auto ban, but as we know, this is a democracy, not a dictatorship, so we left it up to the people. And for everyone that was saying Matt be crying, I guess it's your lucky day because you can thank Brody for saying we shouldn't ban y'all. Not exactly my choice, but it is what it is. Brody says no ban. A lot of you like that comment, so consider yourselves lucky. That's the end of that, and why would I even read your comment, dude? This guy just called me Matt be retarded. What? I'm not even reading the rest of his comment. The disrespect is crazy. You know, I thought maybe we could read off some of the comments, debate a little bit, talk about some playoff stuff, but no, it's just Matt getting insulted left and right. Because there's a lot of people asking me questions about Boise, Indiana, Penn State, and Notre Dame, and then you got people like Joseph just ruining it for everybody else, so you can thank him. So with that being said, let's get into topic number 1. And where do y'all want to start on with first? You know what? Let's go with old Bill Belichick. The good old Belichick himself. News came out earlier this morning that Bill Belichick, and it's kind of weird, and you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second, has agreed to become the UNC football head coach. You're probably wondering, well, Matt, what's weird about this? Notice it doesn't say that they've hired him. It just states that Bill Belichick has agreed to it. In other terms, this is the equivalent to saying, well, I, Matt B. Great, also have agreed to be the head coach of Alabama. The problem with that is Alabama hasn't agreed. Same thing here. It doesn't matter if Bill Belichick has agreed to be the head coach of North Carolina. They haven't agreed to it, so what are we talking about? All jokes aside, according to Dov Kleeman, Belichick handed the school a 400-page organizational Bible. Yeah, I have never seen that word in my life. Organizational Bible. I've seen organized and organization, but not organizational Bible. Anyways, continuing along with structure, payment plans, staffing choices, etc. Decisions on whether to commit with UNC. He is expected to know their decision within 24 hours. Huh, interesting. It sounds like, Bill Belichick's going to be running North Carolina like a military school. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of Bill Belichick, but I don't hate the guy. I'm pretty even keeled. But here's my question to you guys. What college, or not college, my apologies, high school recruits are going to choose to play for Bill Belichick? Can't even says this enough. I don't mind the guy, and I personally like the hard-nosed mentality, but with this generation of kids coming up, you know they're not going to be fond of that. They want to play for a player's head coach. Bill Belichick is not that. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe a lot of kids coming out of high school are going to want to play for him, and North Carolina could have a top 10 recruiting class every other season. We should get an update on that relatively soon, like it states. North Carolina is going to let them know in 24 hours. Be on the lookout for that. Moving along here to our second topic, the cinnamon rolls. Oh, man, the good old 2-10 cinnamon rolls. What do they got going on? Well, let's just say it's a chaotic mess, to say the least. First things first, though, they have got to, and I mean they have got to find a quarterback. As bad as that team was this year, if you don't have a quarterback heading into next year, you're probably going to win 3 or 4 games. That's mission number 1, find a quarterback. And a few hours ago, the news came out that Florida State 5-star true freshman quarterback Luke, I have no idea how to say that last name, not even going to try to, is entering the NCAA transfer portal. Does this really matter? Probably not. Because let's be honest, Luke Cromenhook, hope I'm saying that last name correctly, he's not going to be the difference maker. Florida State has so many problems. It's like when you got a lot of stuff to do, it's to the point where it's overwhelming and you have no idea where to start. Although I've said you got to start with a quarterback, even if you have a good quarterback heading into next year, it's still not looking good. Wishing him the best of luck, and I don't blame the kid. If you are currently a player for Florida State, get the F out of there. What are you doing? You got to go because this is a crap show. This is a sinking ship, and you're going down with or without it. I realize that didn't make any sense. I should have said the ship is going down with or without you, but you get what I was trying to say. To go on top of that, shortly after that news came out, it's being reported that Florida State is going after Thomas Castellanos, former Boston College quarterback. And Castellanos is expected to transfer to Florida State. That's where things stand right now. I guess you could say Seminole fans aren't too fond of this. No true FSU fan wants this. The kid quit on his team, and Bill O'Brien doesn't speak highly of this kid. Look, I'm going to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with you. If Thomas Castellanos is a starting quarterback for Florida State next year, well, it doesn't matter. They're probably not even going to make a bowl game either way now that I think about it. It's not a big deal, but I'll put it to you like this. Castellanos, he ain't nothing special. He aight. On a good day, he does show me some flashes of greatness, does kind of remind me of Kyler Murray, but on a bad day, it's pretty bad. Let me ask you a question. Would this really be an improvement from DJ Oogabadoogie? I don't know. By the way, is Oogabadoogie coming back next year? What's going on with him? There's no way he's going to the NFL. If he does, he's going to be undrafted. I did hear reports that he may petition to the NCAA to give him a injury waiver since he only played in, 4 to 5 games this year. Florida State's a crap show. I've enjoyed every second of it, and I'm all here for it because of the way the fans acted when they didn't make the playoff last year. A bunch of crybabies. And shut up, Timothy and Bobby. I can already see you going to the comment section. Oh, man, you were sad when Alabama didn't make the playoffs this year. Yeah, but I wasn't crying for days and weeks. The first thing I said when Alabama didn't make the playoffs in my live reaction video is congratulations to SMU. They deserve it. They earned it. Alabama didn't. Am I upset that Alabama didn't make the playoff? Absolutely. That's my team. But I was not throwing a hissy fit like these Florida State fans, and y'all know what I'm talking about. And I don't even have ill will toward the Florida State fan base. It's just some of them. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They were acting crazy. There are some good Florida State fans out there, and I respect and appreciate them. The others, not so much. But that can be said for every single fan base, every single city. You're going to have good apples and bad apples. That's enough of that. Moving along into the main topic, the main encore, main reason you clicked onto this video. What in the world's going on in Tuscaloosa, Alabama? Great question, my friend. I'll let her answer it. It's not a crap show like Florida State. There's not a lot of chaos going on, but there's moving pieces. Alabama didn't have a very good season. There's a lot of disappointment within the team and the fan base. But most importantly, there's a good amount of players on this Alabama football team, or that were on this Alabama football team, that are not happy with their role. And in the new modern era of college football, when you're not happy with your role, guess what you can do? You can wake up on a random Tuesday and go, oh, you know what? I'm not very happy here. I think I'm going to enter the portal right now. There's no repercussions whatsoever, no penalties whatsoever, so the players don't have anything to turn them away from doing that. Which I don't really mind it. Where I start to not like the transfer portal is when you see guys transferring for the second, and I'm not even too mad at the second, but the third, fourth, and fifth time, I say, all right, come on, man. Obviously, you're the problem. If you see a guy transfer 3 times or more, it's not the school's fault. It's the player. I digress. That's a different conversation for a different day. Let's take a look at what's transpired the past 24 hours. Like I told you in the intro, Alabama has had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 players enter the transfer portal within the past 24 hours officially. Some of these players you're going to see, we've known they were going to enter the portal, or they announced it a couple days ago, but officially they entered it yesterday. These first 2 I'm going to show you are wide receiver Kobe Prentice and cornerback Jahil Hurley. Both of these young men you're looking at currently were supposed to be somewhat of impact players for Alabama, and it just didn't happen. These next 3 I'm going to show you: Caleb Odom, Miles McVay, and Kendrick Law. Caleb Odom's a little different from Kendrick Law because he was a 5-star true freshman. Although it was a 5-star, you got to be a monster to be starting and playing a lot of Alabama as a true freshman at any position. And I know what some of you sitting here saying, well, Matt Ryan Williams did it, and yeah, He's a generational talent. That's why he did it. And oh yeah, by the way, you're going to see 3 stars next to Caleb Odom. That is his rank in the transfer portal. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. Some people even labeled Caleb Odom as a cancer cell to a locker room throughout the season. I'm not going to get into that too much. If you know, you know. Long story short, he's into the portal. The Kendrick Law one, that's the one that hurts the most for me as a Bama fan. Kendrick Law is the fastest player on Alabama's roster, and yes, he's faster than Ryan Williams, and he's one of the fastest players in the nation. But for some odd reason, we just could not and would not get him the ball this year outside of 1 jet sweep per game. All we did was utilize him as a blocker, and it sucked, but that's kind of how the offense was for Bama this year with Jalen Milroe being the quarterback. And let me state this right now before I forget. I do not blame Kendrick Law for transferring. I stated a few weeks ago, if I was in his shoes, I would transfer, and same thing for Odom. If you're a wide receiver, you at least want to get 3 to 4 targets per game. These guys weren't even getting close to that. Number one, Caleb Odom wasn't even playing at all. I think he got maybe 2 to 3 passes thrown his way throughout the entire season. Kendrick Law might have got 10 balls thrown his way. It just doesn't make too much sense for them to come back. And let's get into these other 3, and we'll talk about all this as a collected unit. Offensive tackle, Naquil Bertrand. Defensive lineman, Hunter Osborne. And tight end, Danny Lewis Jr. Those 3 guys, not really a big loss, didn't do too much for Alabama this season. But Caleb Odom, Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, and Jahil Hurley leaving, that stings. I do want to address this comment that, I hope I'm saying your username correctly, JBake1 said on one of the recent videos in regards of some of these players leaving. And this was when a couple of them left. 119 snaps and 310 yards combined between all those players. Get real. I believe he's referring to Kendrick Law, Caleb Odom, and Kobe Prentice, all 3 of those players combined. And to be honest with you, I really don't know what the point of this comment was, because I never stated in that video that he commented on that Alabama's going to struggle on offense next year, and losing all 3 of those wide receivers, it's some huge and detrimental loss. Never stated that. What I've always stated on the channel is I don't care how many wide receivers or offensive players Alabama loses in the transfer portal, because at Bama, you just plug in the next 4 or 5-star, and it creates an opportunity for somebody else. A great example is when Isaiah Bond left. I told people I don't think it's that big of a deal, and guess what? It wasn't, because we replaced Isaiah Bond with Ryan Williams. But if you're trying to sit up here and act like losing Kendrick Law, I'm not even going to talk about Caleb Odom and Kobe Prentice, but if you're trying to act like losing Kendrick Law is just something you can brush to the side, I disagree. With or without Law, Alabama's going to be fine, but he's a player you like to keep on the roster. That's my personal opinion. If you don't think losing him's not that big of a deal, to each their own. You're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe. Losing Kendrick Law hurts, and I also want to address some of these comments. So I asked you guys, what in the world is the ReliaQuest Bowl? Because I just found out yesterday Bama's playing in the ReliaQuest Bowl. And apparently, according to y'all, that is what the Outback Bowl used to be called. So it's the Outback Bowl. You know what I'm going to call it? I ain't even going to call it the ReliaQuest Bowl. I'm just calling it the Bloomin' Onion Bowl. Check out this comment. Imagine being so spoiled by your favorite team that every year you didn't make it to the Natty is a bad year. And you're 100% right. Every year Alabama doesn't, not even just make it, but every year Alabama doesn't win the Natty, considered a bad year. Heading into a season, I've always said that the goal this year for me as a Bama fan was to make the playoffs. I didn't expect to win the national championship, but the goal is to make the playoffs, and we didn't do that, so I most definitely consider this year a failure. And there's a lot of great comments from Michigan fans. I'd love to read them off, but I'll just pop up a couple for you guys to read if you want to. Here's all I'm going to say about the Michigan game. I do not care if we win or lose, but I am kind of looking forward to it. Well, I say I don't care if we win or lose. Let me rephrase that. I don't care as much as if, like, for example, it was a playoff game. If we lose, it most certainly is not going to hurt as bad as last year. If we win, it's not going to feel as good as a normal playoff win would feel. I would love to read off all your guys' comments, but the video would be way too long, and there's already people probably now complaining that I talk too much. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But